So back in action here. The sun is somewhat out. It's not snowing for now. So we are going to make our way now. We're heading again, not quite north, but pretty close to it. And our next destination is going to be Quorn Lake. Telegraph pole here. You're going to start seeing more telegraph poles standing, and more with once we start hitting Quorn Lake, you're going to start to see some signage on the poles. Hopefully the battery holds out until we get to Quorn Lake, and then we'll do a swapperoo. So you'll notice again the geography. It looks like it's very sandy here. So kind of gives you a little idea of where we're heading. Washout, no thoroughfare, 4 miles, no resort access. So there is a resort on Selwyn Lake where the washout is, but it's on the north side of the washout. Let me give the lens a wipe here. We got some flakies coming down again. Of course we do. Now we got to start keeping an eye out for the markers. So the little things I put into the grade to tell me where things are at, so I don't have to keep staring at my GPS. Can't see anything. 12:43, so it's really 1:43. This is supposed to be a lengthwise, supposed to be a shorter hike, but it took me a lot longer. So you can see a pole in there. So we're going through this cut here. Hopefully you can see it okay. We're kind of shaded a bit from the sun. Another pole coming up here. Still flakes of snow coming down. Jesus. Just will not let it go. So we had that. Look how it's coming down now. So frustrating. Give the lens a wipe again. Another telegraph pole over there. So we had that precipitation, and then it's supposed to dry out this weekend. It's supposed to be quite warm again. It's supposed to get up into the double digits. This morning was 0, and apparently there's no cell service, so just going off of what they were saying before, it was supposed to feel like -3, -4 in the morning, and it did feel like that. Supposed to get up to a high of 2, 3, 4 degrees depending on which forecast you looked at, and then it's supposed to be double digits by Saturday. So we're approaching Quorn Lake. That's Quorn with a Q. Q-U-O-R-N. It's kind of funny if you turn the closed captionings on. It thinks I'm saying corn. Quorn Lake. It's Quorn. And I'll tell you a little bit more about Quorn Lake momentarily here. I'm gonna give the lens a wipe. This is so frustrating. Sun's out and I got flakies of snow coming down. This is sort of par for the course of this time of the year. Again, I can't control the weather. I had hoped that, you know, when I picked this day, it was the day that Noah was available, right? So this is Quorn Lake, and so originally Quorn Lake was not called Quorn Lake, it was called Sand Lake. And the reason why it was called Sand Lake is you'll notice the very sandy beach, and the sandy beach actually goes all the way around the lake. I'm not a geologist. I do have some geography background. I do teach geography. I'm convinced that this is a Kettle Lake. So Kettle Lake is a glacial feature whereby you have these lakes that are formed by ice that is trapped behind when the glaciers retreated. Because you look at the map, and I will show you the map. I will show you the 1918 map that shows this name of this lake as Sand Lake before it was Quorn. And then I'll show you the more modern maps. You can see that it's almost circular in shape, which is very indicative of Quorn Lake. Same with the next lake next to it. And again, you don't see this sandy all the way around the lake like this in this part of the world, right? It's just that's not something that you typically see. So I'll show you those couple maps here, and this is a perfect time to do a battery change. All right, back in the saddle here momentarily. So what I'm going to do is there's a little trail here going down, not that one. Again, it would have been beautiful coming by with the train back in the day. Just gorgeous views. Oh, my gloves coming apart. Time for a new pair of gloves. There's a little trail here. So what I'm going to do is previously I ran down and shot a little video down by the lake, so I'll show that to you. All right, so we're down here on the shores of Quorn Lake. You can see why they originally called it Sand Lake, and you can see all this nice sand. I think it literally goes all the way around the lake, right? So if you can look, maybe I'll zoom you in here. If you look over to the other shores, you can basically see sand all the way around, which is, I would think, a rarity here for northwestern Ontario. You do see places where they'll have sandy beaches, but not all the way around the lake. Just a beautiful lake. And again, as I mentioned, I'm pretty sure this is a Kettle lake here. So this is a glacial feature. We just got a stick. You can see some people have left some firewood down here. Beautiful little spot here to camp. You can see the water level is down considerably, even with the rain that we got. All right, let's make our way back up to the grade. Okay, back in action here. So now we really need to start paying attention as we go through this cut here, because we're going to start seeing telegraph poles with signage on them. So I have to watch out for my markers on the ground. It looks sketchy there. Hopefully that holds off. Don't need any more snow. This has been frustrating enough. So basically we're going to curve around the lake a bit, and then we've got a straight stretch, and then we're going to cross the Petrie River again, because the Petrie River goes into Quorn Lake, comes out of Quorn Lake, and then into the English River. Okay, let's start paying attention here. You can see a little bit more of Quorn Lake. You can see some telegraph poles. Kind of a bumpy section here, lots of ballast. Lots of alders growing up, kind of a bit of a swampy area here. Give you as much of a view of the lake as I can. These telegraph poles look a little bit sad. So one of the things, and I'll put this up on the screen, one of the things we've been doing, it feels like I'm going uphill, but one of the things we've been doing is we've been coming downhill since Graham So there's a drop between Graham and Oscar or Petrie, and then there's another drop, and there's another drop. I have them in my notes, but I don't feel like pulling them out right now. Okay, we got to be coming up to those telegraph poles. Let's zip you ahead a little bit here until we get to them. All right, so this is the first one here. So hard to see, but I'll give you the zoomed in view. So we have a telegraph pole that says 90. So we are 90 car lengths out from the siding at Quorn. And so if you've never seen the videos before, or if you don't know quite familiar with what that means, is that in the old days before they had radios, they would affix these markers every 10 car lengths on the telegraph poles. And so since they didn't have radios, the train crews would be able to see how far they were out of the siding in tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And so depending on the number of cars that they had, they would know when they cleared the siding. So we have this straight stretch, the bridge is up there, and then we're into Quorn Station. And you're gonna see there's a bunch more. This is probably our best stretch of telegraph poles with the signage on them, because you're going to see some more momentarily here. Let me give the lens a wipe. So there's another pole. Section's hard to pedal through, man. Oh, this is our good one. This is our good one. We got a twofer here, threefer actually. So we have a standing telegraph pole with a 70 car marker on it, as well as milepost 92. And again, those milepost markers are so rare. So here you can see a little bit better view of it. So I'll give you the zoomed in view as it starts to snow again. Jeez, just killing me here. Okay, so let's resume. We are 70 car lengths out of the siding at Quorn. See, every time it clouds over, it starts to snow. It is so frustrating. It can't just cloud over like it was supposed to and not snow. Maybe if I keep my head tilted this way, I'll try to keep it down. I just gotta watch out for my markers here. Okay, so we got our next one. I think this is a recent addition. Nope. Okay, so you can see the 60 car marker. So I'll wipe while I give you the zoomed in view. Alright. Oh, so frustrating. So frustrating. wouldn't be so bad if it was cold enough that those snowflakes were frozen. It came down as frozen stuff, because then it wouldn't make a mark on the lens, but they're wet. So hard to pedal too. All right, here's the next one as it really starts to come down now. So here is the 40 car marker. So what I will do is I'll give you the zoomed in view as I wipe the lens. You're in this open area too, so it's just being whipped by the wind. Another telegraph pole there. We got another one coming up here. So this is the 30 car marker. Sound like a broken record here. So again, as you take a look at that, I'll give you the zoomed in view. So again, we are getting very close to the siding. Oh, my finger is cold. My index finger on my right hand is cold. Oh my God, that wind is awful. And so just up ahead here is the bridge. No more poles here though. All right, so we are now on the second crossing of the Petrie River. So we're gonna hold up here and then I'll take you across the bridge.